Welcome everyone to episode 13. Welcome to Numis Canada with Bruce, and we especially welcome Team Numis Canada and all which is the members and subscribers, and anyone else who might be watching. Today we will be covering episode 13, which is the Ocean State of the Statehood Quarter series, and we'll get right into it just after this. Welcome back. So here we are in volume 1, and of course the ocean state is Rhode Island. And let's just take this out, and we have Rhode Island, the ocean state, which joined Confederation in 1790. Rhode Island's statehood quarter dollars minting limited to 10 weeks, issued May 21st, 2001, brilliant uncirculated condition. And of course we have the official state seal, which is here, and the state flag, and of course we have the coins, and this is the Philadelphia reverse and the Denver obverse. And Rhode Island quarter dollar features a vintage sailboat on a Narragansett Bay, America's Cup competition. She was designed and built by the Harrashoff Manufacturing Company, based in Bristol, Rhode Island. By defeating the English yacht Shamrock III, Reliance assured a win for the American team. Rhode Island has been a major shipping center since the 17th century. It is known as the Ocean State because of its lengthy shoreline along the Atlantic Ocean. Narragansett Bay, which dominates the eastern region of the state, is a large natural harbor protected from the Atlantic. It was beneficial for the first settlement of Providence, Portsmouth, Warwick, and Newport, because the harbor became an important trade and commerce center. About 30 miles long and ranging from 3 to 12 miles wide, Narragansett Bay is spanned by the Claiborne Pell Bridge. And of course we have this lovely photograph here, and I'm just going to make sure that I'm centering it. And this is, and I'll give you a copy of this photo as well. And Narragansett Bay, Rhode Island, is situated between the cities of Newport and Providence, renowned as a tourist location for its beautiful coastline. The bay also serves as an important shipping destination along the eastern seaboard. Entered in the Union May 29th, 1790. And we'll flip it over, and on this side we have the obverse from Philadelphia and the reverse from Denver. And Giovanni de Verrazzano, an Italian navigator, was the first European to explore Rhode Island in 1524. He sailed into Narragansett Bay despite his reports of fertile lands and abundance of food. It was not until 1631 that the first permanent settlement in Rhode Island was founded. After Englishman Roger Williams had been exiled by the Puritan leaders in the Massachusetts Bay colony for his contrary religious and political beliefs, he founded the settlement of Providence in Rhode Island. Massachusetts tried to control the new settlement, but in 1664, Williams secured a charter forming a new colony, ensuring religious and political freedom. As a result, Rhode Island became the first known as a refuge for the persecuted of all faiths and beliefs. Rhode Island was the first colony to elect delegates to the First Continental Congress. Because it was the smallest of the colonies, Rhode Island stood to gain the most from unification. On May 4th, 1776, Rhode Island was also the first colony to renounce allegiance to King George III. During the American Revolution, the British occupied and virtually destroyed Newport. On May 29, 1790, Rhode Island became the last of the 13 colonies to ratify the Constitution. By the early 1800s, Rhode Island had recovered from the devastation of the Revolution, thanks in large part to the water-driven textile mills. Pawtucket developed into an industrial center. In fact, it is said that America's Industrial Revolution had its beginnings in the textile industry in Rhode Island. As the Civil War approached in 1861, Rhode Island's dependence on cotton from the South made the state reluctant to get involved in the war. Nevertheless, the desire to keep the nation together resulted in about 24,000 Rhode Islanders fighting for the Union. Rhode Island's textile mills and factories enjoyed a period of tremendous prosperity in the second half of the 19th century. In addition, the thriving jewelry and silverware industries drew more people to the cities. By the late 1890s, the city's Newport developed into a summer haven for the wealthy, who built opulent mansions along the coast. The city of Providence was one of the first to embrace professional baseball, and the Providence Grays won the National League Championship in 1879 and 1884. Rhode Island also hosted the America's Cup race, starting in 1930 and continuing until 1983. By the turn of the 20th century, the state was exporting textile products around the world, and a U.S. naval base had opened in Newport during World War I. Rhode Island's factories produced goods and ships for the war effort. However, unemployment was high after the war, and the Great Depression forced many businesses to close. By 1949, the state's unemployment rate stood at 17%. New industries such as electronics, chemicals, and plastics, combined with the successes of shipbuilding, helped bring back prosperity to the state during the 1950s. Suburbs growth slowed in the 1970s, and Rhode Island was one of only 2 states to experience a decline in population. At the same time, though, the rural areas developed into tourist attractions. The state had been a popular tourist destination since the mid-19th century and was renowned as a major sailing center. Popular tourist destinations included Newport with its elegant mansions, Narragansett Bay, Block Island, and the historic towns of Portsmouth, Middletown, and Jamestown. And of course, we have 2 stamps here to look at. And this stamp is issued on July 14th, 1953, commemorates the 100th anniversary of the opening of Japan to the world trade. In 1853, Commodore Matthew C. Perry of the USS Navy, a Rhode Island native, established formal relations with Japan's emperor for the first time. And there's that lovely stamp. And that's a 5-cent stamp. And of course over here we have a 20-cent stamp and Toro Synagogue, issued August 22nd, 1982. This stamp commemorates the Toro Synagogue in Newport, Rhode Island, completed in 1763, and is the oldest synagogue in the United States. And we recall that why it's there is because Rhode Island became a place for religions that were not accepted elsewhere. So how cool is that? And we have down at the bottom, the capital is Providence, Rhode Island. The bird is the Rhode Island red. The flower is the violet. The tree is the red maple. And the motto is hope. I think this is the first one that wasn't in Latin. So how cool is that? I thank you for your time and hope you have appreciated this brief history of Rhode Island and a look at its state quarters and history. How cool is that? Thank you for watching, and we'll hope to catch you for the 14th episode coming up soon. So if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. Take care and bye for now.
And please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and keep on collecting.